There is truly so much to learn about Stardew Valley and the development process of it. If there's one thing to know about the developer of Stardew Valley, ConcernedApe, it's that he loves hiding little Easter eggs in his games for his community to discover. It's so easy to get lost in rabbit holes of information about this game. I will literally find myself just spending time browsing the Stardew Valley wiki just for funsies, and somehow I always end up learning something I didn't know about before. I made a video a couple months back talking about some useless information about Stardew Valley, and you guys really seem to enjoy it, and I enjoyed making it, so I thought I'd make another one. Just like the last deep dive, we will be talking about some things pre 1.6 and post 1.6. And all of the information I'll be sharing in this video may or may not have any use for your gameplay, but they're interesting to know nonetheless. So without any further ado, here is 16 minutes of useless information about Stardew Valley. In the 1.6 update to Stardew Valley, a new item was introduced, a birdhouse furniture piece, which may seem like any normal birdhouse to an unassuming player, but there's actually a pretty dark secret behind it. The birdhouse can be purchased from Marnie's ranch for 5,000 gold, and it can only be placed outside. Once placed, there's a chance that a bird will appear on it daily, even in winter. And as you walk up to it, the bird will fly away. Normal stuff, right? Well, you may know that it's possible to dismiss your children in Stardew Valley by offering a prismatic shard to the dark shrine of selfishness. This can be done inside of the witch's hut. This will turn your child into a dove and you will see them fly away, and this will make the child leave the farm forever. And once dismissed, children are gone for good and cannot return. Or can they? You see, if you have a birdhouse placed and you've dismissed a child to the shrine of selfishness, there is a chance for a white dove to appear on the birdhouse. It really doesn't do much except stare at you with judgmental eyes and just remind you of your selfish ways. And it will simply fly away if you get too close. But that's not the only secret that turning your children into doves can unlock. In fact, turning your children into doves unlocks several Easter eggs. If you have a telephone in your house in Stardew Valley, you've probably heard it ring from time to time upon entering your house. You can receive calls from NPCs like Lewis, Pear, Vincent, the Hat Mouse, the bear, and even your dead child. Yup, there is a chance that when you pick up your phone, if you've dismissed a child, a text box may pop up that says, "You place the receiver to your ear, and are met with a roiling, abrasive static." But wait, beneath it all, you can make out something else, an otherworldly voice.
"You have forsaken us."
Scary! You may also notice, if you watch TV on Fall 26, the day before Spirit's Eve, and you have dismissed a child, there will be an ominous question mark channel on the TV. If you click on it, an ancient doll will appear on the TV screen along with an eerie message.
"You brought this upon yourself, and now I'm free."
And the ancient doll will pop out of the TV screen and into your pockets. Thereafter, if you re-enter the witch's hut, a cursed ancient doll will fly around and attack you in front of the dark shrine of selfishness. If you kill it, it will turn into a large black bird and fly away. But don't think you're safe, because the doll will respawn every time you re-enter the hut. Another Easter egg is specific to the Four Corners farm. If you picked the Four Corners farm and you've happened to dismiss a child, there's a chance that you may catch an ancient doll while fishing. And this last one is a little bit of a late game spoiler, so skip to this timestamp if you don't want to see the perfection cutscene. If you've turned multiple children into doves, there is a 15% chance that they'll fly past information at the summit. There are a handful of secrets to uncover in the Stardew Valley intro and title screens alone, and even a new one added in the 1.6 update. During the intro screen, you will see ConcernedApe's logo. It's pretty common knowledge that clicking on this logo will result in either a honk sound or a splat sound. But in the 1.6 update, there is now a small chance that clicking on the ConcernedApe logo will cause a rare green version of the ConcernedApe logo to appear along with falling leaves on the screen. The game also keeps track of how many times you launch it, and it shows a friendly little message in the bottom left corner of the ConcernedApe logo screen based on that number. These messages range from little gameplay tips, to thanking you for playing, to challenging you to beat Journey of the Prairie King without dying, to letting you know you started the game 100, 1000, and up to 10,000 times. And on the main Stardew Valley title screen, clicking the letter E in the game name 10 times will cause the E to open like a door and reveal an alien that will smile and wave and then fade away. Clicking the leaves 10 times will cause 3 Junimos to appear in the logo and wave. Clicking the lower right screw on the letter W 10 times will cause several butterflies to appear. And clicking on the swirl on the bottom left corner of the title box a few times will result in you picking up a little happy face. This happy face is actually a puzzle piece that fits in the hole of the R. Placing it in there will cause foliage to appear around the title box and parrots to fly out of it. And there are a few more UI secrets like this in the game as well. For example, the Lonely Stone. The Lonely Stone can be found on the west side of the beach in the ocean, and it can also be seen on the in-game map. A rock sound effect will play every time you click on it. The Lonely Stone isn't referenced by any of the villagers, nor is there any lore about it mentioned by ConcernedApe or even in the game's files. There's also a little Easter egg in the friendship tab of your inventory. When you have at least 4 hearts of friendship with a character, if you click on their sprite in the gift log, a special animation and sound will occur, and every NPC has their own unique one. And in the 1.6 update, the bottom left corner of your skill screen now changes depending on if you took the Community Center or Joja route. If you take the Community Center route, you will see a little Junimo design. If you take the Joja route, it will be a Joja design. With the Community Center design, you can click on the Junimo a few times to make plants appear in the corners of the square. Activation of the secret is then stored in the player's save file and will always show up upon opening the menu, even after relaunching the game. ConcernedApe loves his references, whether it's the Howl's Moving Castle inspired Rarecrow or the Chrono Trigger poster on Abigail's bedroom wall. But did you know that there are references to some of ConcernedApe's projects that he worked on before Stardew Valley? You may be familiar with the Wumbus movie that can be played at the movie theater in Stardew Valley, or the Wumbus and Bobo statues that can be won in the movie theater's crane game while the movie is playing. You may also be aware of the eerily similarly looking strange dolls. What do all of these things have in common? Well, in 2011, before Stardew Valley's conception, ConcernedApe created a series of comics called Wumbus World, featuring some weird action figures that you might recognize. ConcernedApe describes Wumbus World as an intergalactic art experience highlighting the absurdity of modern life. There is an official WumbusWorld.com website that unfortunately doesn't seem to be supported anymore. Very sad. But at least Wumbus and Bobo will forever live on in Stardew Valley. Also, another fun fact, if you put the strange dolls in the spool of a sewing machine, you can create shirts of these characters to show you are a real Wumbus World fanatic. But Wumbus and Bobo are not the only references in Stardew Valley to some of ConcernedApe's previous work. While ConcernedApe was developing Stardew Valley in 2014, he was starting to get a bit burnt out on it and decided to take a month-long break from the development of Stardew Valley to work on a small mobile game to release on Android. This game was called Pear and was released on March 6th, 2014. In the game, players would need to guide a purple pear on a hoverboard between obstacles and compete for a high score. And the main character of this game can be seen as an ice sculpture during the Festival of Ice event. And it's even a hidden Easter egg in the Haunted Chocolatier early gameplay trailer. And just like we have early gameplay footage of ConcernedApe's work-in-progress game Haunted Chocolatier, there is also early gameplay footage of Stardew Valley on ConcernedApe's YouTube channel. And as you can see, the game has come a long way since its inception. Lots of the ideas and concepts are still there, but visually, the game looks so much better now. From crops, to foraging, to mining, to monsters, and even the NPCs. We can see early concepts of Haley, Sam, Maru, and all of the other villagers at your wedding. It looks like at one point we were able to craft farm buildings instead of hiring Robin to do the job. And we could spawn animals on our farm instead of going to Marnie's ranch to purchase them. At one point, ConcernedApe was even going to let us be able to butcher our animals for profit or cooking, but ultimately he ended up removing it from the game because it felt wrong, which I think was a smart move. There are some mods that bring butchering back though, if that's what you're interested in for whatever reason. And what I find most interesting about these early gameplay trailers is that it looks like originally there was going to be a digging skill and a luck skill. I would love to know more about that luck skill and what that was even going to look like. We can also see that there was originally an extra accessory slot for necklaces and belts, which as of now seem to be making a comeback in Haunted Chocolatier. So hopefully those don't end up getting scrapped scrapped as well. But ConcernedApe has a ton of work that has been scrapped. For instance, back in September 2023, ConcernedApe revealed his secret Bandcamp page from 10 years prior. If we take a look at the link, we can see 6 EPs from ConcernedApe's production company, Evergreen Media, which also has a familiar face as the logo. These EPs are chock full of really interesting and experimental tracks, like Error from Empty as Null, What Was Once Home, Pumpkin Boy from Transmission 1, Artifact from Transmission 0, and Airship Woman from You're a Megastar. And all of these EPs are under unique artist names that no one would ever know to look for, like Little Calamity, 2222 Soft for Life, or Mark DeMacro. There are even some familiar tracks in these EPs that would go on to appear in the Stardew Valley original soundtrack, just under different names, like Moonlight Jelly or Night Sailing. I definitely recommend checking out these songs. Most of them are super weird and kooky, but in the best way possible. It's great background music if you need to lock in on something. I was literally listening to it while scripting this video, and ConcernedApe even said that it's a possibility that some of these songs could make it into Haunted Chocolatier if it feels right. But he also has a big backlog of music that he hasn't uploaded anywhere, so he may also pull from that too. He did say though that maybe in another decade he'll post his other secret Bandcamp. This man loves to keep us on our toes. In my previous useless Stardew Valley information video, I talked a bit about Stardew Valley references in other games, but I didn't mention all of them, so here's a few more. In Core Keeper, a survival sandbox game developed by Pug Storm, there's a hidden reference to Stardew Valley in the form of music. There is a sheet music that can be obtained called Spring, It's a Big World Outside, which is one of the springtime songs from Stardew Valley. In Enter the Gungeon, a bullet hell roguelike game developed by Dodge Roll, there's a weapon known as Star Pew. It's in the shape of a watering can and fires droplets of water, and it even has the same charge-up mechanic that is used in Stardew Valley to shoot more water. In Coral Island, a farm life sim developed by Stairway Games, there's a character called Concerned Monkey, who is the secret shop owner of the empty cabin in a forest area. It's very likely that this is a nod to ConcernedApe, as Stardew Valley was a very strong influence on Coral Island. In Moonstone Island, a creature collecting life sim developed by Studio Supersoft, there's a spirit creature that you can collect called Shadeling, who looks very similar to a familiar little shadow creature in Stardew Valley that we all know and love, Krobus. This was actually confirmed by the head developer of Moonstone Island during an interview with the Slow Burn podcast. The way to obtain this spirit is unlike any other in the game. At first, it can only be obtained at the Spring Spirit Festival. And speaking of festivals, during the Spirits Eve festival in Stardew Valley, the wizard and Linus can be seen standing at an unreachable location. But if you hover your mouse over them, they do have dialogue pop-ups. And now, post 1.6, there are a few more characters that can be found out of bounds with dialogue pop-ups as well. And thanks to the NoClip mod, we can find out what these NPCs have to say. In Odd Years, the wizard says, "The affairs of mundane folk matter little to me, but the elementals like a chance to see you up close. It was for them that I created this silly maze." And then Linus says, "Good show, old friend." And now that the 1.6 update introduced new NPC placements and dialogue festivals for every other year, we now have new hidden NPCs and secret dialogue on even years. The wizard and Linus can still be found in a slightly different location, off to the west side of the maze. The wizard says, "The trials continue. Every magician must have an apprentice." Linus says, "Haha, another fine creation, my old friend." And now Krobus and the dwarf can be found too. Krobus can be found near the mummies off to the left side of the screen. Talking to Krobus results in him saying, What are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing, buddy." And the dwarf can be seen on the cliff above the community center. Talking to the dwarf will result in dialogue that says, "This place is very strange." If you've played a decent amount of Stardew Valley and have paid attention to the NPC relations around town, you most likely know that Marnie and Lewis are, well, a bit freaky, to say the least. And as you can see, they aren't the best at hiding their relationship, like, at all. In fact, even Jas knows that something strange is going on between them. If you have at least 2 hearts with her and enter her bedroom, her dollhouse is interactable. By clicking on it, a dialogue box will pop up that says, "The little family is gathered around the dinner table." Wait, except Grandpa. He's wedged under the bed for some reason. Oh, there are a lot of different challenge runs in Stardew Valley to spice up your gameplay, like the no farming challenge where you can't plant anything or own any animals or upgrade any tools, the blacksmith challenge where all of your money comes from gems and smelted bars, the farm fresh restaurant challenge where you can only ship cooked meals using ingredients you grew, or the classic Joja run where you have to support Joja instead of repairing the community center. And the list goes on and on and on and on. But perhaps the hardest challenge of them all is the 999 challenge created by Stardew Valley content creator The Algorithm. In this challenge, you have to get a full stack, 999, of every single stackable item in the game. Yes, that includes things like prismatic shards, magic rock candy, radioactive bars, golden eggs, auto petters, the tea set, the statue of blessings, every single dish, forageable, mineral, artisan good, and wine of every variant, and the list goes on. Anything you can think of. If it stacks, you need 999 of them. Sounds like a very chill, super fun challenge that will absolutely not spiral you into pure insanity. Right? If you're crazy enough to take on this challenge, just know that it will take many real life years and an unbelievable amount of dedication to complete. The Algorithm has been doing this challenge for over 7 years at this point, and as of November, they were at 74.8% of all stackable items completed. If you're interested in seeing the process of this challenge, please go check out The Algorithm on YouTube and Twitch. Dare I say, as someone who's not taking part of this challenge, it's kind of relaxing to watch him do it. Also super interesting. And that, my friends, is all of the useless information that I have compiled for this video. Do you know of any more useless Stardew Valley information that I didn't mention today? Please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I would love to read them. And who knows, maybe I'll feature you in the next useless information video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.